Hello, and welcome back to my one eyeshadow only series. If this is your first time on my channel or the first time checking out this series, I will leave my playlist up here. Today we're going to be using a shimmery eyeshadow only, so that's why I haven't done my face makeup yet. So I'm going to start off by priming my eyes because I usually do that off camera, so I figured I would do it on camera today. So for that I'm going to be using my MAC paint pot. This is in the shade Soft Ochre. And you can use whatever brush you want with this. You could probably use your finger too, but I'm using a Sephora Pro Crease brush. I'm just dipping it in and putting it on my lid. And what I want to make sure I'm doing is that I want to make sure that I'm pulling this very far out because we are going to make a mess today and we're going to clean it up after, which is why I'm doing this first. I've done my brows though, just because I find it's easier to figure out the shape of your eyeshadow if you already have your eyebrows on, but that's personal preference. So make sure you get a good coat of primer on your lid and really pull it out here. And to set my primer, I'm just going to use a nude eyeshadow. This is from Urban Decay. And you don't have to set your primer if you don't want to, but I find using shimmery shadows, especially in the crease, you kind of need them to be able to blend out, and that's a little harder to do if you don't set your base. But I just personally like to set my base most of the time when I do makeup, unless there's a very specific look that I'm going for. So for the shadow that we're using today, I'm going to be using one out of my Violett Voss Rainbow palette. And it looks like this. And the shadow that we're going to use today is this one. It's called Seafoam. It's described as a sea foam green. I don't know why they wouldn't just call it sea foam, but Seafoam, I don't know. But that's the shadow that we're going to be using. So I'm going to start off by taking a Morphe M203 brush. This is a flat packing brush. And I'm going to really pack this shadow onto my brush, like so. And I will spray my brush as well every time I apply this. So I'm going to start off by placing this shadow. Oh, look at that. So I'm going to place this all over my lid, up to my crease. And these shadows are just amazing. If you can get your hands on this palette, I would highly recommend it. Like the shimmers in this are very similar to the shimmers in Juvia's Place, which you guys know I love. So now that we have like the base down, I'm going to start bringing this out. And you can see there's already some fallout, so I'm going to just start pulling this out. I know this is going to look very strange, but just bear with me because we will clean it up. So I'm going to kind of make a bit of a wing shape with it. And if you make a mess, that is totally okay and highly encouraged. And you could definitely use a smaller brush than this too, so I'm actually going to switch because this brush is kind of big. So I'm going to switch to my Morphe 224 brush, which is very similar, just smaller. And again, I'm placing that just where my crease is and I'm pulling it out. And I also want to make sure that the line up here is pretty sharp, because you don't want it to get messy. Like imagine when you're cleaning it up, you want this to kind of look like a wing. So just keep that in mind. So now I'm going to go in with a fluffy crease brush. This is from my DHC Cosmetics brush set, but you can use whatever brush you have. And now I'm going to go in with this in my crease, and this is where we're going to make a mess. So I do want there to be like more of a smooth transition. It is a little bit hard to get shimmers to work in the crease, in my opinion. They don't really pick up on a brush as well, or a fluffy brush I should say, and so there's going to be quite a bit of fallout, but that's okay. So we're just going to start on working this into our crease, just enough so that it doesn't look like a super harsh line up here. So we want to kind of diffuse this. Just take your time blending it out. So now that this color is all blended out, I'm going to take a makeup wipe and I'm just going to put my finger right inside of it like so. And then I'm going to use my nail to kind of wipe up. And then clean this up as we go. So it looks something like this. And I'll just make sure that you clean up under your eyes. And I'm going to do my face makeup and I'll be right back. Alright, face makeup is done. If you want to know what I'm wearing, I always leave it down in the description box, so just take a look right there. And I also traced my eyes, just my upper waterline with a liquid pencil. I didn't think I had to show that because, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And I also put on a shit ton of mascara. So next up, we're going to line our waterline. And I'm actually not going to put any shadows on my lower waterline because I think I want to just keep it very simple and have all the attention be on top. But I'm going to put this Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in my waterline, and this is in the shade Ultraviolet. It's a dark blue. So I'm just going to be popping this right in here. And I am pulling it down a little bit so that we can use a brush to kind of smush this out and act as our shadow. So before this dries, I'm going to go in with a precise shader brush, just a tiny little stiff brush. And I'm going to just work on smudging this blue shade out a little bit. And I also didn't want to do a wing today because I wanted this to be our wing. You don't always have to do a wing with every look. I think it looks kind of cool to leave it the way it is. And this is also a good tip, like if you have a hard time doing wing liner, you can like use your makeup wipe to make a liner with. Especially if you use your darker colors on the outer edge of your eye. I think that looks really cool. For my inner corner, I'm going to use my Dior highlighting palette, and I'm going to go in with this white shade up here. So this next thing that I want to do is absolutely not necessary whatsoever, but I'm going to take my little mini Jeffree Star lipstick in Blue Velvet, and I'm going to just take this on a little eyeliner pencil, and I'm gonna make like 3 little dots right here where my wing usually is, just to add a little extra fun. And this could also really mess up the look if I screw it up, but hopefully I'll manage to not do so. So I'm just gonna do three little dots like so. I think that looks kind of cute. And they're not perfect, but that's okay. And just for fun, I think I want to do 2 more right here in the inner corner. Maybe I'll do 3. So a little something like this. Now, this one got a little too big, so I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit by just putting some shadow over it. First, I'm going to do a tiny little dot of concealer. I'm gonna go over it with a little bit of shadow. And I think that pretty much fixed it. So let's see, what do we want to do for lips today? Let me take a look at what I got. I'm going to go with one of my favorite lip products at the moment. These are the Oh Sweetie glosses by MAC. They smell so good, and I just love how they wear. This is in the shade Purple Panna Cotta. So let me put this on and see if I like it. So I really love how this look came out. Let me know what you think down below. Also, let me know if you have a request for next color in this series, and I will take that into consideration and probably make it happen. So thank you again so much for watching, and if you're new here, I hope you stick around, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.